Hello, I'm Michael Guess, and this is an introduction to using Persyst 12 as part of a Natus Neuroworks EEG system. In this screencast, we will show how Persyst 12 is used within Natus Neuroworks for EEG review using Persyst trends and seizure detection, and the use of Persyst artifact reduction. Next, we will show a brief overview of Persyst 12 spike detection and spike review. Lastly, we will show how Persyst 12 performs analysis automatically during acquisition with no user intervention required. Persyst 12 is installed on your acquisition systems to perform EEG trending, seizure detection, spike detection, and artifact reduction. Persyst 12 performs this analysis automatically during acquisition. We will look at the configuration for acquisition in more detail later in the screencast. Persyst 12 is installed on your review station to review or monitor the Persyst 12 analysis that's generated during acquisition. EEG recordings are open for review from the Neuroworks database. I'll open a recording that was previously processed with Persyst 12 during acquisition. The EEG waveforms and trends are displayed together automatically. If the trends are not displayed, they can be shown by right-clicking on the Neuroworks toolbar and selecting Magic Marker, or by selecting a Neuroworks workspace with Persyst 12 configured. What we are looking at now is a split screen of EEG and the trend for the first hour. The trends are described in detail in Dr. Mark Scheuer's screencast on Persyst 12. For now, it is helpful to think of these as an analog to the comment list, where changes in the EEG are described graphically rather than with text in the trend display. Clicking on the trends will move to the same point in the EEG, so it's just like clicking on an annotation in the comment list. Clicking on the trend will move to the same point in the EEG. Persyst 12 spike and seizure detections that are displayed in the trends are also written automatically to the Neuroworks annotation list. I'll turn on the annotation viewer in Neuroworks so we can see the detections. Clicking on the comment will move the EEG to the same point in the recording. Using the Filtered tab, we can toggle the display of Persyst spike and seizure events. Note that in the Filtered tab, these will retain the name Reveal Spike for Persyst spike detections and Reveal Rhythmic Burst for Persyst seizure detections. Let's return to exploring the Persyst 12 trends. The EEG waveforms are noisy because they represent a combination of EEG and physiological artifact. The trends on the right are not noisy because Persyst 12 artifact reduction is reducing the contribution of physiological and electrode artifact. I'll turn AR off and on again so you can see the effect. The trend duration is currently set to 1 hour. Let's use the Page Forward button to advance through the trends. Each click of the page button moves us 1 hour forward in the recording. This page of the trend shows a distinct electrographic seizure. Click at the beginning of the seizure detection to see the onset of the seizure in the EEG waveform display. Select the EEG button to view the waveforms in Persyst 12. Next, select the AR button to apply artifact reduction. Select the full screen mode to view the artifact reduced waveforms full screen. Select the Leave Full Screen button to return to the split screen view. Select the Trend View button to display the trends. Let's continue paging forward to the next seizure depicted in the trend display. Here's another seizure, and we can see that F8 may have become dislodged at this point in the recording. By toggling the AR button on the trend display, we can see that the bad electrode has been removed from the trends. I'll turn AR off and on again so you can see the effect. Let's view the waveforms in Persyst 12. Toggling the AR button shows the removal of the bad channel as well as the reduction of physiological artifact. Note that the original signal is displayed in gray in the background. I'll turn AR off and on again so you can see the effect. Persyst 12 also includes spike detection and spike review. This is described in detail in Dr. Mark Scheuer's screencast on Persyst 12, so I will describe it only briefly here. Spikes are detected automatically, and they are displayed in the comment list, the trend display, and in spike review. I'll open spike review to show the types of spikes that were found in this record. Spike review summarizes and averages the spikes by spike focus. It also applies artifact reduction to make the spikes themselves easier to see. The summary view shows the number of spikes that were marked at each electrode. To see the individual spike detections, double-click on the detection. These are the clips of the individual spikes. We can scroll through them and highlight ones for our final report. Clicking the time at the top of a spike will scroll the EEG to that page. Let's return to the Overview tab. From here, other spike foci can be selected for review. Selecting the Final Report tab displays an average of the hand-picked examples and optionally the 1-second snippets as well. This is only a brief overview, so be sure to view the screencast by Dr. Mark Scheuer for a full description of spike review. Persyst 12 is installed on your acquisition systems to perform EEG trending, seizure detection, spike detection, and artifact reduction. Persyst 12 performs this analysis automatically during acquisition. After installing Persyst 12, it is enabled from the Neuroworks database to run automatically with each recording. This has to be done only once after installation. After that, Persyst 12 will run automatically for each recording performed. The Persyst 12 on Neuroworks EEG guide provides complete installation instructions. Also, our support team is happy to assist with installation and configuration. Please feel free to contact us if we can be of any assistance. Let's start a new recording in Neuroworks. The operation of Neuroworks acquisition is unchanged, so for the EEG technologist there isn't anything different that is required. Persyst 12 will launch automatically from Neuroworks acquisition, and it runs as a Neuroworks analyzer. This means that even if the Persyst 12 window is hidden during acquisition, the analysis is still running in the background. Of course, with the EEG alone, there is only 10 seconds or so of history displayed. That's why we recommend Persyst 12 remain on screen during acquisition. This provides a way for the technicians to see seizure detections and trend changes that may have already scrolled off the EEG display. During acquisition, you can monitor trends and detections with Persyst 12 running within the Neuroworks monitoring mode. Seizure detection alarms that are generated online during acquisition are integrated within the Neuroworks Alarms database and appear on the review station that is monitoring the live EEG recording. Let's open the live recording from a review station to see what monitoring mode looks like. Here we see the EEG, Persyst 12 trends, and alarms from the Neuroworks acquisition system appearing on the review station during monitoring. This has been a quick tour of the use of Persyst 12 within Natus Neuroworks. There are many more capabilities that we will be happy to discuss with you. All of the trending, detection, and artifact reduction you have seen is completely automatic. There are no patient-specific settings required. Just push a button and it works.